Hi everyone, welcome to Livewire Review. My name's Jeremy and I'm here today with another adapter to review. This is an NACS to CCS1 adapter, or more commonly known as a Tesla Supercharger to CCS adapter. So I've got the box, I haven't even opened it yet, so let's take a look inside this box and see what we have. Okay, so here we have a carry case. The last couple adapters that I got did not have a carry case, so that is a nice start. And every EVDANCE product that I've gotten so far has arrived with a case. So let's take a look inside the case. So inside the case, it comes with the instruction manual and it comes with the adapter wrapped in plastic. So I'm just gonna set these things down here so we can take a look at the adapter itself. Okay, so here we have the EVDANCE adapter, NACS to CCS1. So one nice thing I like to see here is it has the push button on the top of it for putting it into the CCS part of the car. Now we're taking a look at the NACS side, which is the Tesla side, and this one comes with a physical lock on it. So it's not a button, you actually turn a physical lock. So the reason there's two locks on this is because each one of them uses a different communication protocol in order to charge the vehicle. CCS vehicles have to see that the pin is shut. It actually presses a button in the vehicle, sends communication to the vehicle to let you know that it's locked. Now in Tesla's case, that's actually done on the other end. The NACS port, the charger itself has to see that the lock button has been engaged on there in order to start the charging. So before I show you how to use this, I want to talk about the adapter itself and what makes it different than the other ones on the market. So first thing I'm noticing is this has a very handy handle on it, which means that because CCS is a pretty bulky setup, a lot of people have complained it's very difficult to plug this in. I feel that this fits really nicely in my hand and should give you some good force to put it into that CCS port. So nice pro that it has the handle like this. It's not too big, it's gonna fit in your glove box, fit in the trunk, and it's gonna be pretty easy to use. So I don't really like the idea that it has this lock on it. I actually prefer when it just has the button on the bottom of it, like the last adapter that I used. But luckily it does have the button on the top and only the lock in one position here. So before you go and remove it from the supercharger station, you're gonna have to remember to twist this and unlock it and then pull it free. Another couple things I like to point out, UL certification. So this does meet UL certification, but the certification is still in progress. So it has not been approved by UL yet, but I am happy to see that it meets those requirements. And it is also IP66 rated, which means that it is dust and waterproof up to a certain degree, which makes it great for using in Canadian weather. You can use this in the rain and snow with no issues whatsoever. It has proper gasket material, has high quality materials on the connections on both ends. So there's no reason that this thing should have a fire, especially since it meets UL certifications. Okay, so now we're gonna show you how to use this thing. There's actually a couple different ways you can use this. So we're gonna pull out my phone and we're gonna use the Tesla app to begin with. So if you don't have a Tesla product, you still download the Tesla app, you sign up with your email address, and you add a credit card to the system. It's gonna look a little bit differently than it does on my car. My car will show my actual vehicle and all the details about it, whereas this one is going to show just your other EV, and it'll give you the options for that. So starting off the main screen here, you press the three dots in the corner if you do have a Tesla product and your other vehicle is a non-Tesla vehicle, and you actually have to swipe down. You have to go to charge your other EV, and that brings up the map. Now, the nice thing about the map is it's going to show you the chargers that work. I point this out every single time I make one of these videos. There's only two types of Tesla chargers that actually work with other vehicles at the moment, and not every vehicle is allowed to use Tesla superchargers yet. You've got Hyundai, you've got Kia, you've got Rivian, you've got a Ford like the one behind me, but you're going to have to check all the time and see if your vehicle's been added to the list, because not all vehicles are approved. There's only a certain number that are. So when you go on this map, a lot of the time it'll bring up your location, but sometimes it doesn't, so you just have to type in the location that you're at. And it's only a supercharger type 3 or type 4. So what that means is when Tesla first came out, they had 74 kilowatt chargers. That was a type 1 charger. Type 2 charger was one of the most popular ones out there. It's when their supercharger network really expanded across both the US and Canada and across Europe and things like that. They were 150 kilowatt chargers. Now the problem with those ones, you cannot use them with other EVs. The 150 kilowatt chargers that you see on the side of the highway may not be applicable to your EV. So you do have to go on the map, you do have to check if it's applicable for your vehicle. Only the 250 kilowatt and the ones that are faster than that, the version 4, can be used on other vehicles. Now, if you come to the one like we've been, that we're at today, we're in Orillia, Ontario. This is a new setup. This is 250 kilowatt. It's a Type 3 unit. Now, the problem with this unit is the cord is very short. So you can see that with the Mach-E that we're testing today, the cord has to be able to reach the side of the vehicle because the port is on the side of the vehicle. And because it's so short, we have to pull up sideways to the charger today. Okay, so to start this, we hit charge here, and we're gonna have to note what stall that we're at. We're at 1A, so I have to find that in here, hit 1A, and then hit start charging. At that point, I can put my phone down, I can put it in my pocket because the rest of it's fairly easy. You attach your adapter and it's gonna do the rest of the work for you. So what I always like to do, I like to put it in the adapter first, especially when it has a lock. Now I'm feeling like the lock is in the wrong position here, so let's turn it around and we're gonna check it out. There, the lock was in the wrong position. This is the most important part. Because this one doesn't have a push button lock, you actually have to take this and physically turn it to the lock position. Because when the lock goes to the handle, it's gonna tell this charger that it is safe to charge. That is one charging protocol that it has to meet. Now, because we're going to CCS1, it is also gonna have to meet the protocol of the vehicle itself. So you flip down the second section because CCS1 has a second part to it. It does the communication on the pins on the top, and the actual charging takes place at the pins at the bottom. So I'm gonna grab it by the handle that they've given me, and we're gonna line it up, and we're gonna push it in. And because that handle is there, it's very, very easy to use. Now, I just heard the lock engage from the vehicle, so at this point, it's gonna take a couple of minutes because it communicates from the vehicle to the Tesla charger. It goes out to the network, it sends a signal out and says, hey, is this okay? And then it's gonna start the charging. So that's when I open up my app, and I'm just gonna make sure that this is working. Okay, the vehicle is charging. Now, I just wanna bring up another point. The version 3 Tesla Superchargers, 250 kilowatt. This is a approximately 400 volt system, 480 volts, something like that. So if your vehicle is an 800 volt architecture, it's going to hit a certain limit. This adapter that I have here today is rated for 500 amps. So at 400 volts, 480 volts, you can max out at 500 amps, which means you can only reach a certain kilowatt charge speed, and a lot of people are going to discover that with their non-Tesla EVs when they come to Tesla Superchargers. They expect to get that 250 kilowatts that a Tesla will pull, but they have a different charging protocol to them. Going through this adapter, I expect to see something like we're seeing today. We're pulling 124 kilowatts. That's pretty good. Usually on these stations, I don't see them go over 150 kilowatts on non-Tesla EVs, so we're doing a great job. Okay, so now if we want to stop the charge, there are no physical controls on the Tesla Supercharger, so you have to go into the app and hit stop charging. Now, depending on what vehicle you brought to the Supercharger today, there might be a different way in order to stop the charging. You could go into the app for your vehicle and hit stop charging, and that will also cancel the charge session. Now, on the Mach-E that we're looking at here today, there's a little button on the side that unlocks it. So you press that, and that allows you to take the CCS adapter out of the car, because the physical lock on the car actually has to come out before I can pull this out. Now, I pointed this out before. This one has a physical lock on it. So we're gonna undo the lock on the bottom here, pull it all the way out, and that releases the Tesla Supercharger from your adapter, and that way you can put it back into the Supercharger. So for the rest of the video, I'm actually gonna have my brother come up here, and he's gonna show you a different way to use this adapter, because we do have a Ford here today. The Ford Pass app should allow him to be able to charge his vehicle on a Tesla Supercharger without using the Tesla app. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna try the Ford Pass app and see how easy it is to use this charging infrastructure. I kinda like this setup because it means that we'll be able to, you know, just come here and plug in your car just like a Tesla owner would. So it makes the EV experience a lot easier to handle when you don't have to think about the charging process. So he's got it plugged in. He's locked it in place so that the Tesla Supercharger knows to communicate with it. Now the other lock is in place, and if everything goes right, we shouldn't have to do anything on our phone. This thing should just start charging. Okay, so we got the car charging, and guess what? It really was that easy. All you had to do was plug it in. The Ford Pass app actually worked perfectly. He opened up the app on his phone, and he was able to see that it was starting the charge, and now it's fully engaged. And I think we're pulling another 125 kilowatts or so, just because we are over 50%. So it started about 147-ish, and it dropped down to 124. But there are limitations to the adapter, just like I said. But I am really happy to see that the Ford Pass app works very well, and it proves that this EVDANCE adapter is working great. So I definitely recommend this product. I'm gonna let you know that they are offering 20% off of this product. It's only about $281 on the website as a regular price, $281 Canadian that is, so check out the website if you're in the US checking this out. But they've offered a 20% discount, so you're gonna pay an awful lot less than that. If you type in EVD Jeremy, you'll get 20% off this adapter and other items on the EVDANCE website. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this video. I'm just gonna wrap this up while this car is charging, because as my brother did come from Waterloo today, he's got quite a drive home. So we're just gonna let this charge up while I finish this out. I am very impressed with this adapter so far. It's, I'd say it's probably number 2 on my list just because it does have that lock on the bottom of it, but that's not a big deal. It's only one, it's very easy to get used to. They do make up for that with the fact that they have this large handle on here and the body of it is not very big. It's fairly light, it comes with a carry case, it fits in your trunk, it's IP66 rated, it meets UL certification, and they are going through the certification process. It just hasn't been processed at the time of this video. So just check in for that. When you go on the website, they should update it as soon as that certification is in place. But I do highly recommend this product because I've used a lot of other EVDANCE products lately. I haven't had an issue with any one of them yet. All of them have come with a carry case, and they're just easy to use. So if you found the video helpful, maybe like the video and subscribe to the channel and see what we're doing next.